I think that the way I'd like to start tonight is, first of all, thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Now, you can hear me. Howard, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Turn up your hearing aid. I'm glad you're here. And my platform is really simple. Mine's really simple. And the reason I'm running for District 2 Congress is because I've been watching politics for 35 years. And if you'll think about it, over 35 years, nothing ever changes. No matter what party, forget the party stuff.
Cost goes up.
Yeah, just forget the party. Set the parties aside. That's irrelevant. Right. Nothing ever changes. Now, what am I talking about? You know, even Chu, you hear Department of Energy. What's one of the things he said even the last week or two, Don? He's talking about. He said, "Man, we're working towards oil independence." I've been hearing that for 35 years. I've been hearing about immigration problems for 35 years.
Dwayne, what he really said was, I deserve better than an A- grade.
Well, yeah, we won't even go there. But, you know, we've got these problems that we've had for all this time, and they talk, well, you know, so-and-so's kicking it down the road. Then the other side says, well, so-and-so's kicking it down the road. Well, they're all kicking it down the road. And why do they do that? Well, that's politics. Well, all right, if that's what politics is, I'm sick of it. Because it's not changed anything, folks. How long are we going to keep putting up with it? What are we going to do? Until we do something different, nothing's going to change. And that's why I'm running for office. Because here's the deal. This right here, in fact, if you see one of my cards, I don't have one on there on the table. But if you look at one of my cards, I put a picture of the Founding Fathers. There's two reasons for that, Annie. There's two reasons. One, that's a better looking picture than my face. And number two, Howard, don't you say a word, son. And number two is if we don't get back to this right here, you can fold her up and go home. Now you may second guess that, but I'm telling you right now, you don't get back to this, you can pick up your marbles and go home. Now, I'll also tell you this, short of arms, now listen real close, you better be listening. Short of arms, we're in for the biggest fight we've ever seen. Short of arms, we're in for the biggest fight we've ever seen. This has been going on for decades, folks. You've got things and plans that have been working, you know, under surface for decades, 50, 60 years. That's now got people in positions of power, money in positions that all of a sudden, I don't know about you, but for me about 4 years ago, you know, I just haven't paid attention. I have not paid close enough attention. And when I raise my head up above and say, I look out here at America and I'm thinking, whoa, that's not what I remember. What's been going on? And it's just been working and working. And we kept watching it. And we kept allowing them to kick stuff down the road and kick stuff down the road and politics. And I'm going to tell you when I knew it was very, very serious. There's a couple of steps, for me anyway. The last quarter of George Bush, when they came up with the stimulus, and the economy's tanking, and he had a stimulus program, and America said no, and they did it. We got a new president. He had a stimulus idea, and America said no, and he did it. We had a major corporation on the brink of bankruptcy. That's why we have bankruptcy laws, folks. And he said, we're going to bail them out. America said no, and they did it. And I knew we was in deep, deep trouble. Then the Obamacare came up. And America said, double no. And they forced it through. And I knew we were in deep, deep trouble. But let me tell you where I knew we were in deep, deeper trouble. Now listen close. When they ram that thing through, and then they talk about the backroom deals. Now listen, we're not stupid. We've always known there's backroom deals. We've always known it. Oh, it's corruption. Well, we know corruption's there. We understand that. Well, that's just politics. And we've bought that line of garbage for way too long. But here's where it got bad, bad, bad. Is after they rammed that thing through, Remember the little backroom deal they did? I think it's Ben Johnson, whatever his name is, out in Nebraska, and then they had some deal down in Louisiana and some deal over here. Here's where I knew it was bad. It's when they talked about that in such an attitude that said, yeah, we did that, Don, what are you going to do about it? And when I saw that attitude, we're bad. We are in bad, bad shape. Now, is it over? I've had some people say, Dwayne, I just think it's over. Well, let me tell you something. If I thought that was true, I wouldn't be standing here. In fact, neither would any candidate be standing here. Let me tell you, though, why it's over, or no, not over. Let me tell you why there's hope. We got to get back to the Constitution. We got to get back to these biblical principles that made us exceptional. Now, let me tell you a couple of things. Now, if you're a Christian, you know there's a verse you probably know that says that all things are possible. Well, that's true. But let me give you something else that we can get. For me, even, that's sometimes kind of hard to get your mind around. So let me give you something that we can get our mind around. Let me tell you why there's hope. And this right here actually spurs me on just as great as anything. In the days before the War of Independence, you need to understand, if you don't already know, do you realize that because of less than 30% of the people, whatever the population was, I don't know what it was, it doesn't matter, but because of less than 30% of the people, Terry, of that day, that wanted separation from Britain, we became the most exceptional nation ever. Now think about it. Let me show you something here. Less than 30%. 25% were kind of neutral, and almost half were on Britain's side. That's not very good odds. How do you get less than 30% of the people that become the greatest nation ever? I'm going to tell you why. Because we've got the greatest Constitution that was based on biblical principles. And God honored that, and we became the most exceptional nation ever. You need to understand something. These principles benefit everybody. I don't care if you're an atheist, I don't care if you're Hindu, it doesn't matter. These principles benefit everybody. See, this is not a Christian thing. This is let's not reinvent the wheel thing. Let's go back to what made us exceptional. Let's go back to what we know works. And we'd all be in agreement with that, I assume, right? Are we all in agreement with that? Well, time will tell. Let me tell you what I mean. Here's the thing. You are not going to get back to this if we keep doing the same old thing. Guess what? I'm going to define what the same old thing is. I bet you was waiting for that, weren't you? Here it is. The same old thing is playing the same old games. Listen, we got 6 guys on this ticket. Well, their picture's better than mine. We got 6 guys on this ticket that I've come to get to know personally. And I like them all. And we can all line up here and you can say, all right, you can go down to each candidate and say, what's your plan for this? And what's your plan for this? And what's your plan for this? And we can throw out something and you're going to scratch your head. You're going to say, give me candidate number 3. That's a good plan. Here's the same old thing, folks. There's not a one of us can take a plan to D.C. and get it through. Not going to happen.